Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I am super excited for today's video. I'm going to be showing you how to do acrylic paint pouring. Now this is a really relaxing, super fun hobby that I started doing pretty recently, and I have quickly become obsessed with it. So I can't wait to share it with you today. So let's hop to it and learn how to do some acrylic paint pouring. The recipe that I follow to make my pouring paints is super simple and actually pretty affordable. You can get pretty much everything you need to do this entire project from the dollar store or from your local Walmart. To get started, the first thing you'll need to do is mix up some DIY pouring medium. I make this with some Mod Podge and some water, and I use a mason jar. And the basic recipe is to mix 2 parts of the Mod Podge with 1 part of water, and you can see that I've marked on my mason jar about 400 milliliters for the Mod Podge and then 600 for the water. Of course, you can adjust this recipe for as much or as little as you need. Just make sure you have a 2-to-1 ratio of the ingredients. I like keeping mine in the mason jar because I can store the leftovers in there for future pourings. Once you've added all of your ingredients, just give this jar a decent shake to make sure that everything is well incorporated, and then just set it aside. Now the fun begins. You can pull out all of your paints, some disposable cups, and some popsicle sticks. So I use these small disposable cups, and I actually pre-measure using water, and I just mark on the cup where the 2-to-1 ratio would be, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to eyeball it as I'm pouring the paint in. So as I said, just pour in your paint to that first line and then pour in the pouring medium on top of the paint. Finally, you'll need to add a few drops of silicone to each of the colors of paints. This is not required, but it's great because it helps the paints to make these really cool cells whenever you're done with the pouring project. Now this is some actual silicone that I bought from an art store, but if you don't have it, you can use some treadmill belt lubricant that you can get on Amazon, or you can even use the OGX coconut oil serum for hair that actually has dimethicone in it, which is another form of silicone, and it works just as well. Finally, use some popsicle sticks to stir up this mixture until it is completely uniform and has a consistency similar to buttermilk. If you find that your paint is too thick, just add water until you reach the desired consistency. Now the fun can actually begin, and there's a lot of different styles and techniques that go into acrylic paint pouring, so I'm not going to tell you how to do your paintings, but I am going to show you a few that I do here so that you can get a feel for the basic technique that goes into it. You can notice that I'm using these little painting triangles to hold up my canvas, and that just makes it a little easier to pick up and manipulate after the paint goes on, and it also helps it to dry more uniformly. So this is just another optional thing you can use. Now the final step that really makes these paintings pop and that makes the cells come out of them is to run heat across the surface of the painting. Now we're going to be using a butane torch on this one, but I actually experimented with using a hair dryer and also a lighter, and those things actually work pretty good as well. So in another painting I'm going to show you a little bit later on in this video, you'll see that I'm using the hair dryer, and you'll kind of see how that technique works as well. The main idea is that you want to be popping any air bubbles that are in the painting, and also the heat is going to be reacting with that silicone that we added to our paints. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to do acrylic paint pouring. If you did, please let me know in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.